Hi there, and welcome back to Speak English with Christina, where you'll learn American culture and business know-how to become confident in English. Now, today I'm really excited because we're going to look at how to become good at socializing in English step by step. And we're going to do this with a free lesson from the course Successful Small Talk. And I'll show you what's in the lesson, how to use it, and how to really get the maximum benefit out of every lesson in this course. So, before we start, if you want to activate the subtitles, click on the little CC icon at the bottom of the video. Now, on the program today, we're going to go through the first lesson from the Successful Small Talk course. So this is the actual lesson that you will start with when you join the program. And today, you've got free access to this lesson so that you can go and try it for yourself on your own time and at your own rhythm. Now, in case you haven't seen some of the previous videos and maybe you're wondering, what is Successful Small Talk? Well, it's the 15-part training program that I created, which gives you vocabulary, strategies, and conversation skills that you need to build business relationships and to fit in with an international team. And it guides you step by step on a path to become fluent, comfortable, and likable in social conversations in professional context, because often it's not so easy to know how to talk about what you do or your weekend or your family or things like that. And remember, you've got two options for this program. You've got the Essentials Pack, which is the online course, perfect if you need a very flexible schedule, and you've got the Booster Pack, which is the online course plus a variety of live sessions to practice conversation and go through the course with a teacher. Perfect if you really want to practice applying what you learn in the course and get feedback from a teacher on it. And we've got some special offers on both of those options, which expire Sunday, June 23rd. So that's coming up very soon. You don't want to miss it. And I'll put the link to get those offers in the notes below. But a quick recap of the offers. On the Essentials Pack, you're going to get 130 euros off the future price of the course because we're going to update and expand the course later this year. Super excited about that. You're going to get a free month of group conversation practice. And for the Booster Pack, you're going to get 248 euros off the regular price of that program, plus 2 additional free months of group conversation practice. So I'll put the link so you can go ahead and check those offers out. But for now, let's go ahead and dive into the first lesson from the Successful Small Talk course. Now, this is lesson 1.1, you and your job. In total, for the moment, there are 15 lessons. We're adding more later, but we're going to start at the beginning with lesson 1.1. Now, every lesson in this course includes an audio activity, the transcript of the conversation, a video lesson, worksheet exercises that are very practical, interactive practice dialogue to practice speaking, and corrections for everything to evaluate yourself. And we're going to look at each one of these step by step, how it works and how it helps you. So the audio activity. First, the way this helps you is it gives you a model of a good socializing conversation. And it introduces you to typical expressions for the context of that lesson. So in lesson 1.1, the context of talking about you and your job and what you do. And you also learn, the right things to say for small talk situations. And in this dialogue, it really puts the expressions in context so that you know how to use them. And you see here we're inside the Successful Small Talk course. So every lesson will start with this audio activity. You can download the audio to listen to it on your smartphone when you're traveling on the go. And you can also download the activity and the script, which looks like this, where you'll have a short little summary of the discussion so you kind of know the context. And then you've got, the word by word script of that conversation so that you can look at it, you can study it, and you can learn those expressions. And all of the audio dialogues, they're pretty short, so that they're manageable. They're long enough to give you some good content, but short enough to still be very manageable. And my maximum benefit tip, so how to get the most out of this part of the lesson, I recommend that you download the audio and that you listen to it several times each day. And little by little, you'll start to identify the key expressions and really feel how the conversation flows. So that's the audio activity, the first thing that you'll do. Then, like we saw, you've got the transcript so that you can see the new expressions that you hear in the conversation and you can check that you understood correctly. And my tip for using that transcript is really to print the transcript and then make notes on it, like highlight the expressions that will be the most useful for you so that you can concentrate on learning those expressions. And this way you'll be much more efficient with your learning. The next thing in the lesson is the video lesson. So this is where you're going to learn the key language, so the right expressions for the situation. You're going to learn a conversation strategy, so how to become good at conversation skills. There's a part called Zoom On, where I analyze and explain the nuances of language so that you sound natural. And then the cultural differences, where you have some insights into American business culture. And so every video lesson in the course follows this structure, and we really go through and analyze the audio dialogue. So in your Successful Small Talk course, you see the video lesson is here, which you can download. You can download the slides. And let's just have a look and see what we can see. So you'll see, my face over here. And then I will actually go through and explain, how do you ask about the other person's professional interest, or, asking about what you do. So that expression, I've been, and then with, the difference between for and since, so that you're, using the correct expressions. We'll look at some sample dialogues and how you can use those expressions in context. And then we go on to, that zoom on, the nuances of the language. Like here, basically, how do we use it? It's super common in spoken English. So you'd be able to integrate these little things into your conversations so you sound more natural. And my tip for getting the most out of that video lesson is to actually have the transcript from the audio activity near you while you watch the video lesson. And as I explain the expressions, find them in the context of the transcript, and that's going to help you to really, learn to use the correct expressions in the correct context. Next is the worksheet exercises. So this is, worksheets that are going to help you with your grammar, with your vocabulary, and some typical expressions, in English small talk. This is going to help you to speak more correct and more natural English. And in the worksheets, this is where we cover the tricky aspects of language, like prepositions, phrasal verbs, tenses, word order, all of those mechanics of the English language that will help you sound more correct and more professional. And in your small talk lesson here, you'll just see a little part that says worksheets and corrections. You click that, and that's going to open up your worksheets. So for example, the worksheets from lesson 1.1, we're working on word order of questions so that, you become more automatic and more fluid with your questions. You don't have to think like, where do I put the auxiliary verb? Where's the subject? Where do I put the prepositions? An exercise on dependent prepositions. So, you say, I'm in charge of, or I'm in charge to. Do I work at the department, or do I work in the department? On all of those little, confusing prepositions that English is so famous for, I suppose. And then the third worksheet in this lesson really focuses on structuring your responses to the most common questions that you'll hear in a discussion where you're getting to know the other person. You know, which department do you work in? How did you get into that? How long have you been doing that? And you can take the time to really formulate, what you want to say so that it becomes more automatic. And then, of course, you have all of the corrections in that so that you can see, are you correct or not? And then my tip for getting the most out of these worksheets is, of course, check your answer with the answer key, the correction. And if you see any mistakes, then go back and review the video lesson again. And then wait a few days, do the worksheet again, and see if you were able to correct your mistakes. And this is a cycle that you can use of learning, testing, checking, correcting, and just repeating until it becomes natural and correct for you. Now, we're getting into the, let's say, practical part, the speaking part of these lessons with the interactive practice dialogue video. So this is a video to help you have some speaking practice, to develop your spontaneity and your reflexes to participate actively in small talk conversations. You can start by practicing at your speed so that you're prepared later for the real life, faster conversations. And in your small talk course, this is down here with your practice dialogue video. You can see it's a little short video. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so in fact, what will happen is you'll have some instructions on the screen. You can pause the video, take the time to read the instructions, to formulate what you're going to say, and then I will speak, like we're having a conversation. There are no subtitles because in real life there are no subtitles, so this is good practice for the real world. And then after I say something, like, oh, hello, so do you work in marketing, is that right? You've got some instructions to help you practice using the things that you learned in the lesson. And my tip for getting the most out of these practice videos is that, it's okay to pause the video and to take the time to formulate what you want to say. That's part of the learning process. But you can practice several times a week so that you improve each time. It becomes a little more spontaneous, a little more fluid each time. And, with several repetitions of that, you're going to need less time to think before speaking. You're going to spend less time searching for your words. However, if you want, live speaking practice and you want some feedback from a teacher, go ahead and get into that booster pack because you're going to get the online course plus 3 months of conversation practice plus those 6 live group lessons with a teacher. So if you like the practice video, you think that's great, but you really want some live feedback and help from a teacher, the booster pack's for you. And after you've finished the video, you've got the transcript. So the transcript allows you to see exactly what you heard in the interactive dialogue video so that you can be 100% sure because there are no subtitles on that video. And it also helps you to better understand what to expect in these kinds of conversations. Now, you can't memorize a conversation by heart, no, but you can be prepared, and that's going to help you feel more confident and then be more spontaneous and more natural. And if we look at the transcript, so you can see here, the things I said, and then those same exact instructions that you saw on the screen, but it allows you to really look at and take the time to, to study, to look up words if you're not sure, and really learn the things that you need to know to be a good conversation partner in these types of conversations. And my tip for getting the most out of this is, after you have practiced speaking with the video, use the transcript to write your responses, where you had instructions, write out the response that you would say, this is going to help you to use more correct English because you can really look at it and take the time to think, is that the right tense? Is that the right preposition? And plus, writing out by hand is just good revision to help it, stick in your brain. Then finally, you're going to have a suggested correction for this interactive dialogue. So this will allow you to evaluate how correct you were in the previous exercise. It'll help you to get inspiration for your own answers, and it's going to improve the quality of your answers so that they flow more naturally, unlike me at the end of this video. And you can see here there's this suggested correction where now you don't have the instructions, but you've got some examples of good things to say in this conversation. And my tip for using that is to compare your written responses that you did in the previous activity to my suggested correction. And, see, where can you improve? And then practice with the video again and do better. And if you just follow that cycle, you're going to see, great improvements in the way that you have conversations and make small talk and connect with people in English. So, if we look at the lesson as a whole, this is what it looks like. You've got all those activities. All of the lessons are structured in the same way so that it's very easy for you to follow. You just have to connect and follow the path that I've created for you. Like I said, today we looked at just that first lesson, but you can go and discover the 14 other lessons. There's 15 in total for now. But we've got more lessons and updated exercises coming in 2019, but you can get them today at the same, lower price than what it's going to be when we update the course. So now I want you to go and try the sample lesson for yourself. You've got my method for really getting the most out of this lesson. Go do it for yourself. See if this course is for you. Don't forget that those special offers expire Sunday, June 23rd. So if the course is for you, go ahead and join so that you get those special offers. And if you have any questions about the course, put your questions in the comments and I will be happy to help you decide if this course is for you. All right, thanks a lot, and I will see you next time with, what's coming up next time? Some tips on how to fit this course into your busy schedule, and you'll see it's much easier than you think. All right, I'll see you next time. Thanks for learning English with me.